What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now look at this nice and beautiful question we have here on the board that we're going to be solving. And the question says, find all values of x for which x plus 1 times x plus 2 times x plus 3 times x plus 4 is equal to 120. Well, for some of us, we can easily guess that 120 is 5 factorial. And because of that, you can easily see x, or the value of x, is equal to 1. Because when x is equal to 1, substituting that into this expression, we're going to be having 5 factorial, which is equal to 120. But remember, the question says find all values of x. That means x is not supposed to have just one value, but it's supposed to have 4 values, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 values of x, and that is what we're going to be doing here. So our first step will be for us to rearrange. So rearrange the given expression. On rearranging, I'm going to be pairing this first expression to the last. So I have x plus 1 times x plus 4. And I'm going to be pairing these two together. They are already together, which is x plus 2 times x plus 3. And this is equal to 120. So now let's expand these two. On expanding, I'm going to be having x times x, that's x squared, plus x times 4, that's 4x, plus 1 times x, that's x, plus 1 times 4, I'm going to be having 4. So this is what I have from expanding these first two terms. Now expanding the other two terms, I'm going to be having x times x, that's x squared, plus x times 3, I'm going to be having 3x, plus 2 times x, I'm going to be having 2x, and then plus 2 times 6, 2 times 3, that's 6, equal to 120. Now let's simplify what we have in this bracket. So this is x squared plus 4x plus x, I'm going to be having 5x, plus 4, which is what I have here. This is what I have in this bracket. So what I have in this other bracket will be x squared. Now 3x plus 2x, I'm going to be having 5x, and now plus 6 equal to 120. Now notice that x squared plus 5x is common in this bracket and this other bracket. So I can just say let x squared plus 5x be equal to, I can use any other value, let's say k. So let's go ahead and substitute k for x squared plus 5x. So this is x squared plus 5x, I'm going to be putting k there, plus 4, so plus 4, times, now I'll be doing the same thing, this becomes k plus 6, so k plus 6 equal to 120. So let's go ahead and expand this bracket. So k times k, that's k squared, plus k times 6, that's 6k, plus 4 times k, that's 4k, and now plus 4 times 6, that's 24, equal to 120. So on simplifying, I'll be having k squared plus 6k plus 4k, that's 10k. Now plus 24, I'll be moving 120 to the left hand side so that it becomes negative 120, equal to 0. So this expression becomes k squared plus 10k plus, now 24 minus 120, I'm going to be having, okay, instead of having plus here, I'm going to be having negative, because this becomes negative 96 equal to 0. So we have a quadratic equation that we're going to be solving. Well, we can factorize this quadratic equation. And how do we do that? Now, I have two factors, which when multiplied gives negative 96, and which when added is going to give me plus 10. And those two factors are 16 and negative 6. So these are the two factors that I have. So on factorizing, I'll be having k squared, now plus 16k, now minus 6k, and then minus 96 equal to 0. Now, pairing these two together, you notice that k is common, so I'm going to be factoring out k. Now, leaving behind k plus 16 minus. Now, what is common here? I'll be having 6. 6 is common. And now I'll be replicating what is in this bracket here, which is k plus 16 equal to 0. Let's move to the next slide to continue. Now also notice that k plus 16 is common, so we can bring it out. K plus 16 is common. And now we have k remaining here, minus 6 remaining here equal to 0. So we have been able to factorize the quadratic equation. So we have two cases. We have k plus 16 to be equal to 0. Or for the other case, we have k minus 6 to be equal to 0. So from here, I'm going to be having k to be equal to negative 16. And from this other case, I'm going to be having k to be equal to 6. Now recall, let me write it here. Recall that we said let x squared plus 5x be equal to k, right? Very good. So we're going to be starting with the first case. So let's call this case 1. For case 1, I'm going to be substituting negative 16 for k here. So we have x squared plus 5x equal to k is negative 16. And when I move negative 16 to the left hand side, it becomes positive. So I have x squared plus 5x plus 16 equal to 0. Well, looking at this expression, this cannot be factorized, so we're going to be using the general formula for that. So for general formula, we have x to be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now let's go ahead and substitute. So x will be equal to negative b, and what is b? B is 5, so I'm going to be putting 5 there, plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's 5 squared, minus 4 times a. What is a? A is 1 times c, and c is 16 all over 2a. That means 2 times 1. So x will be equal to negative 5 plus or minus a square root of, that's 25, 5 squared, that's 25, minus 4 times 1 times 16, I'll be having 64 all over 2 times 1 is 2. So the value of x becomes negative 5 plus or minus the square root of, now 25 minus 64, I'm going to be having negative, which is negative 39 all over 2. So we have two values of x here. The first value of x will be equal to negative 5. I'm going to be taking the plus. Now I have negative 39 inside of a square root, which means this is a complex number. So it's going to be written as the square root of 39 without a negative, but I'm going to be putting I outside. So all over 2, or I'll be writing the same thing, the value of x, which is the second value. Let me call this x sub 1, and let me call this x sub 2, will be equal to negative 5, this time minus the square root of 39i all over 2. So these are two values for x from our first case. Now let's go ahead and focus on the second case when k is equal to 6. So this is our case 2. So for case 2, remember we said that x squared plus 5x is equal to k. For case 2, a value of k is 6. Now let's go ahead and move 6 to the left hand side so that we have x squared plus 5x. As 6 crosses to the left hand side, it becomes minus 6 equal to 0. Well, this is factorizable because 6 and negative 1 are factors. So we're going to be having x plus 6 and x negative 1 equal to 0. So this is the factorization of this quadratic equation. So we have two cases where we have x plus 6 is equal to 0 or x minus 1 is equal to 0. So for the first case, we're going to be having x to be equal to negative 6, and for the other case, we're going to be having x to be equal to 1. Remember, we've already got x sub 1 and 2. This should be x sub 3, and this should be x sub 4. So there are 4 values for x, and this is a famous one which everyone is going to get. Well, feel free to share your ideas in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video and have learned something from this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And like I always say, until next time, take care.